primary goal should be nothing more than going home at the end of the day with your car and your body in the same condition you're in right now. We want you to have fun and go fast and enjoy yourself, but please let achieving goal number one be the driving factor behind the decisions that you make out on the track. For all of our grading folks, how do we get on and off of the racetrack? So right now we are here in the red square pavilion. To get on the track, go behind the carport, so that second lane of asphalt, go all the way down to the east end. Before you hit the wall down here, turn right, and you'll enter the hot pit lane with this gate right here. We have a staff person back here in this area though. He's going to want you to stop and show the wristband that might ride on your left wrist every time you go out. So make sure you stop, show him the wristband. You also might want to use your belt to your helmet. We'll make sure to wait by once you head out on the hot pit lane and then blend on right here at the end of the turn two. Lots of room out there. We are doing the full course configuration today, so you will ignore the two shortcut sections here in the middle. They're kind of coned off. Track exit, right here up to turn 15, peels off to your left and brings you up onto the hot pit lane. Once you get off the track onto the hot pit lane, continue straight all the way down to the east end. Right before you came on, that's where you turn left to get back into the cold pit. Two important things about exiting the track. One, we want you to signal so that anybody behind you knows that you intend to exit. Even if it's the end of your session and everybody's exiting, we want you to get into that muscle memory of signaling that you're going to exit. So the signal we want you to use is a closed fist, straight out the left window of the car, straight up, sorry, out the left window of the car. Do that between turns 12 and 13, right before the corkscrew, to let the other people behind you know. Most important thing about exiting the track. This is a view coming out of the last turn onto the front straightaway. Here's the track exit road that peels off to your left and goes up to the hot pit lane. The big white line here is our track exit commitment line. One of our big rules is you never ever cross or even touch the white line when you're exiting the track. So if you're going to stay on the track and do another lap, go to the right of the line, go up the front straightaway just like normal. If you signal that you're going to exit, we want you to really hug at the left side of the track and enter that without crossing or touching the white line. What we don't want you to do is swing out and dive back across, because if there's somebody behind you and they're trying to set up a pass and you cut across in front of them, this is the sort of thing that can happen. This is from many moons ago before we put the white line out there. Already sick, I can't do that. Okay, so this is from before we put the white line out there. The car in front swings out and then decides late to exit. That causes a collision and mayhem. So we had several incidents like this before we put the white line out there, including one that resulted in a permanent break. So we never come back to the track. So that's a really silly reason to be hurting people and tearing their equipment. So we put the white line out there to solve that problem. It's a very easy rule to follow, and if you don't, the consequences can kind of suck. So here's one of the things that we do enforce very strictly. We have three what we call go-home rules. Things that if you do them, there is a 99.999% chance you lose your wristband at the end of the day. The first of the three is if you cross the white line or if you even touch it with a single wheel exiting the track, you are in jeopardy of losing the wristband. If you signal and then you come out of the last turn and you realize, oh crap, I'm going too fast to make it without crossing the white line, please just do another lap. We would rather have you signal and then stay off the track versus taking the chance of crossing the white line. If you cross the white line and we stop you and you say, oh, it's okay, I looked, there was nobody behind me, yeah, we don't care. It's not a judgment call on your part. Just do not cross the white line. Once you get off the track onto the hot pit lane, right back here behind us, if you want to stop on the hot pit lane and check things out, that's fine. You're going to stop here as far left as you can. See the right side for people driving. So if you're going to stop on the hot pit, get left of the yellow line here. Please do not stop anywhere right of the yellow line. We're expecting that. If you check things out, and there's time left in your session and you want to go back out on the track directly from the hot pit lane, that's fine. You just get to the right side here, go past all these cones that are down there, and it takes you right back out onto the hot to the racetrack. So if you want to go back out from the hot pit lane, that's fine. But there is a sign in the far end of the hot pit lane down there in the middle. It is a track entry closed sign. And it says track entry closed when flashing, a bunch of strobe lights on it. If those lights are off, you can go past the sign and go back out on the track. But at the end of each session, when we're trying to bring everybody in, we will turn those lights on so we don't have people continue to filter out. So if those lights are on when you're going down the hot pit lane, you have to turn left and go into the cold pit, please. There's an identical sign over where you're getting your wristband checked, same thing. The lights are on, stay behind the sign. At the start of the session, the lights go off, and that's when you can go out. Everybody in the car today, passengers and drivers, has to be at least 18. Unless you're signaling, keep everything you are fond of inside the vehicle. No arms up on window sills or hanging on the ankle or anything like that. Keep everything inside the vehicle. If you're in a street car, at a minimum, we want both front windows all the way down wherever you are out on the racetrack. We don't allow 4-point harnesses. So if you plan to upgrade your belts, you need to go to at least a 5-point harness, or you need to stick with the 3-point belts that came with the car. If you do go to a 5-point, we strongly recommend that you also get yourself a comms device, and we do not allow any intentional drifting out of the tracks. If the back end steps out a little bit because you're on the limit of traction, that's fine. If you're intentionally pitching it sideways, we can tell the difference. We're going to bring you in and say, please don't do that. No drifting today. So, how do we communicate to you out on track? For the most part, we are going to use LED lights rather than physical flags to communicate to you out on track about track conditions or whatever. There is still one physical flag that you might see, but the first thing about flags or lights, please get in the habit of looking at the corner bumpers. At every corner out there, there's a protective bunker. That's where the lights are mounted, that's where the people are, that's how we communicate to you. Your half of the bargain is you actually have to look at the bunkers to know whether or not we're trying to tell you something. Please get in the habit of at least glancing at every bunker as you approach the corner. The one flag you might see today is this meatball flag. This is a vehicle-specific flag. It is a non-emergency flag. So vehicle-specific means this is for one car at a time. This is not for everybody. But if that one car happens to be you, as you approach the corner, they'll hold the flag up or they'll wave it, and then as you go by, they will either point the flag at you or they'll wave it and point at you as you go by. But they'll try to indicate who this is for. If they point this at you, try to give the worker a wave or a big head nod, some sort of acknowledgement, let them know that you saw the flag. And again, it's not an emergency. All this means is we want you to come and talk to us about something. Next time you come by the track exit, signal, remember to stay left the white line, exit the track. And when you come up on the hot pit lane, great big sign there, meatball flag, stop here. Pull up to that sign, we'll come out and chat with you and let you know what's going on. For the rest, there are great big LED light panels mounted at all 15 of the bumpers around the track. There's also one on a big arm out here over the start-finish line. When those lights are off, that's a good thing. That's equivalent to a green. Just keep doing what you're doing. We try to keep things pretty simple on these days. There's only 5 different lights that you might see today that you know what they mean. And those 5 are divided up into what we call local lights and full course lights. So a local light is a light that only affects or controls the section of track between the bumper where you see the light and the next bumper, the next light. So you can have part of the track be under control of a local light while the rest of the track is green at the same time. So we have 2 local lights today. They are both yellow for caution, either a solid yellow or a flashing yellow, depending on the severity of whatever it is that's going on ahead of you. So if you see a solid yellow light, that is the less serious of the 2. Solid yellow, we will turn on when there is something ahead of you that we consider to be unusual, but not likely to have any direct effect on you. We're just kind of saying, heads up, something weird ahead, probably not a big deal. Just pay a little extra special attention. Because we use the solid yellow as a catch-all for anything and everything, there are no rules or restrictions for the solid yellow light. It's just information for you saying, pay attention, but there's nothing you have to do, nothing you're not allowed to do on a solid yellow. And we move to a solid yellow all the way around the track for the first few minutes of every session today. So if you're brand new, check it out at the beginning of the session, ideally your first session. Do that first lap with all the lights on, and get a good feel for whether or not it doesn't look like it's. If you see a yellow light flashing like that, whatever's going on ahead of you is something more serious, probably something happening on the asphalt in what we call impact zone, or something that's more likely to have a direct effect on you. For the flashing yellow light, there are 2 rules that we would like you to obey today. The first one is please lift, slow down. Again, this is not a competition today. There's no reason not to err on the side of caution. So lift off the throttle. Make sure you have the ability to take evasive action if you need to. As far as how much to slow down, we say half throttle maximum. You should never be full throttle while you are under a flashing yellow light. So half throttle max. The second rule, pretty typical, no passing. If there's anybody in front of you, stay behind them. Stay single file, don't overtake anybody. And both of these rules apply from the time that you pass the bunker where the light is flashing until you have gone past a light that is either green or off. As long as the flashing yellow light is on, the next station will display a green. So look ahead to that next green light. And it's not when you can see the green light, it's when you've gone past the green light or the off light. That's when you can go back to full throttle and you can overtake again. So full course lights. These are lights where if you see one of these at one station, you can know that it is course wide. All it does is it does control the entire track. At the same time, we have two full course lights. They are our police lights and the red. So police lights, blue at the top, a little bit of red at the bottom. This just means that there is some reason that we want everybody to exit the track at your very next opportunity. The very next time you see the track exit. Whatever's going on out there is not an emergency situation. Maybe we need to go clean up a bunch of debris off the track or something like that. We just need the track clear as quickly as possible. We got something we got to do out there. Please do maintain a good pace. Hustle around. If you slow down to 2 miles an hour and it takes you 10 minutes to get off the track, that's just a 10-minute delay for everybody for the rest of the day. So, again, police lights is not an emergency. Hustle around and exit quickly. If it's still early in your session, you might want to just stick around in the hot pit lane because we'll send that same group back out if there's time. If there's close to the end of the session, you might roll to the next session to stay on schedule. Kind of keep an eye on the clock, figure out where you are in that session. There's probably going to be a flashing yellow out there somewhere for whatever it is that's causing the police lights. The flashing yellow does not negate the police lights. Even if it's at the last quarter, please do still exit one of the police lights. And again, we'll get you back out just as quickly as we can. The red light. If something bad happens, or we think that something bad is about to happen, we'll turn on a flashing red at all of the quarter stations. If you see the flashing red, the first thing we want you to do is check your mirror. Make sure there isn't somebody else right behind you who's still at speed who might not have seen the light yet. The reason we want you to look behind you is because the second thing I want you to do is as quickly as you can safely bring the car to a stop on the track. Get to one side or the other, try not to block the track, but bring the car to a stop somewhere where you can see the next light ahead of you, which is pretty much anywhere on the track. You can always see a light ahead of you. Stay in the car, helmet, seatbelts on, just kind of hang out. We might turn the red lights off while we're dealing with whatever it is that's going on out there, or one of the lights might fail and turn itself off for some reason. But if you're sitting there looking at a flashing red light and it simply just goes dark, nothing has changed. After we resolve whatever it is that caused the red, and we're ready for you guys to move the cars again, we will give you a positive signal by turning on either the police lights or the flashing yellow lights, depending on what we want to do. So if the reds change to the police lights, that means exit, right? So start the car up, come back here to the paddock, listen to the PA system, and we will let you know what's going on. If we can, though, we would prefer just go right back to hot track as well. So if we go from red back to hot track, the reds will change to a flashing yellow all the way around the track. So you see that, start the car up, get moving slowly around the course. Once the workers confirm to us that everybody is moving again, and there's nobody stranded in the car that won't start or something. Once everybody's moving again, the flashing yellows will change to a solid green for like 5-10 seconds, and we're just right back to hot track. You see the flashing red, check behind you first, make sure you're not going to get run into. As quickly as you can safely stop the car, and then don't move until you see the police or the flashing yellow lights come on. Last light you're liable to see today is this checkered flag pattern. This just means that the session is over on schedule, and it's time for everybody to exit the track. The way the checkered light works is the worker in turn one picks a car, and as that car goes around the track, we turn this light on one at a time ahead of that car. They don't come on all at once. So no matter where you are on the track, when we start the checkered light procedure, everybody sees a full lap of checkered lights to know that that's the last lap and you need to exit that time. This doesn't mean one more lap. It means the next time you see the track exit, signal and exit because that session is over. We talked earlier about the 3 go-home rules. The second of the 3 is if you are paying so little attention to the lights that you manage to miss an entire lap of checkered lights, and you keep going for a little victory lap at the end of your session, you'll be done for the day. People sit here and think, how could you possibly do that? It happens at least once a day. It will happen. Somebody today is going to miss all 15 checkered lights and keep going to the $100 on this. So don't let it be you. Bring your eyes up, make sure you're situationally aware, look at the bumpers, look at the lights. If you miss them all, we'll send you home, and I'm going to make fun of you first. So don't do that. As far as passing goes today, our theme is, this is not a race. This is not a competition. no prizes, no trophies, no dive bombs, no aggressive passes, anything like that today. Everybody out here just wants to enjoy their car, have fun, and go fast without ending up in jail at the end of the day. If you want to be really aggressive and start racing, wheel-to-wheel type stuff, we can get your roll cage and race license, and you can come out and do that. But today, we're just having fun. So we don't want to put anybody's equipment or health in jeopardy. So please, no dive bombs. Point buys are not required on our open time. They're greatly encouraged. Courtesy, communication is always a good thing. So if you're out there and there's somebody behind you, you want them to pass you on the left, put a hand out the window. Pass me on the left. I see you. Pass me this way. If you want to pass you on the right, hook your hand over the roof and say, pass me on the right. But again, it's not required. You can pass anybody anywhere on the track if you're being given a point. Corners, straightaways, braking zones. If you're being given a point by, you can take that pass anywhere on the track if you are comfortable taking that pass. If you are not being given a point by the car in front of you, though, we want you to limit your passing to when you're on a straightaway and your foot is on the throttle, so prior to the braking zone. So if you're on the straightaway, prior to lifting for the next corner, that's when you need to complete your pass. If you're not being completely in front of that other car, before you're going to lift early, follow that car through the corner, and then try to pass again on the next straightaway. Something else we say about passing is let faster cars pass. A lot of people hear that and they're like, well, of course the faster car's going to pass because they're faster. But what we mean by this is on an open day like this, there's going to be a very large disparity between the cars with the highest horsepower and the cars with the lowest horsepower. And the cars with a lot of horsepower aren't necessarily the fastest cars around the track. They're just the fastest cars down the straightaway. So especially if you have a lot of horsepower, keep an eye on your mirrors. If the car appears in your mirror that wasn't there the lap before or even the quarter before, that means that person has caught you, they're turning faster laps. They may not have enough horsepower to drive by you on the straightaway. If that's the case, somebody appears in your mirror, breathe the throttle back a little bit on the next straight, give that person a point by, let them make a quick and clean pass. When you get to the next corner, they will pull away and nobody gets held up. But if you use your horsepower advantage to keep a faster car behind you on the straightaways, all you're doing is frustrating the car. Somebody catches you, check your ego at the door, lift, point them by, let them make a quick and clean pass. Also, if somebody catches you, it is not your job to get out of their way. Your job is to be consistent and predictable. It's the other car's job to go around you. So no sudden moves, side to side. The other car will go around you. Give them a point by. Let them know that you see them and tell them where you want them to go. The last thing about passing is, if somebody's being a jerk out there, please come let us know about it. It's not what we're about out here today. Aggressive driving will be dealt with very swiftly, but harshly. But you gotta let us know. Court workers probably will, but it's better if we do as well. What we say immediately, which means if something happens out there, turn 6 or whatever, the very next time you come by the track exit, signal, exit the track, stop in front of the building at the dequalified sign, and come inside and say, hey, this just happened. If you pull off and you stop, all we have to do to see it for ourselves is hit rewind on all the cameras out here and follow your car back around to that corner and we can see it for ourselves. And now if we want to talk to the driver about it, one, we can hopefully identify who they are, and two, we've got video to back it up. But if you wait till the end of the session, you go and you park, you got a bottle of water, you talk to your buddy, and then you wander over, at that point it's just he said, she said, because we're probably not going to be able to find one bad pass in all that video. So if you want us to address something, come in, stop, and tell us about it at the end of the lap that happens on. As far as mechanical problems go, if you have a problem on track and you need to stop, try to get onto a straightaway if you can, get off the driving line where everybody else is driving, stop the car somewhere where people have a good amount of straightaway and they can see you as they're approaching. If you can coast into one of the shortcut sections here, that is ideal. Get into those areas if you can. Try to do whatever you can to not stop on the outside of the turn where somebody else is going to end up with a control car. One thing that we want to say about the cars, though, is we do not allow any fuel leaks at all. Obviously, it's a fire hazard if you're leaking fuel, but also fuel is an excellent solvent. You spill it on asphalt, it makes the asphalt soft, and it causes a lot of damage. So we don't want that to happen. The most common cause we see for fuel leaks is if somebody fills their tank all the way to the brim, and then they go out and subject the car to a bunch of G-forces on tracks. Don't overfill your tank. Half a tank of fuel is more than enough to do a 30-minute session, so you don't need any more than that. The more you fill it, the more likely it is it's going to leak. And If your car is leaking fuel, we're gonna bring you in, we'll let you know about it, you get one chance to fix it. If the car goes out and leaks fuel a second time, that car's done for the day. We're not gonna let you go out and leak fuel over and over and over again when you try to figure out what it's doing. Just go to work, fill your tank, it should be cool. If you got a street car and it's got screw-in toe hooks, they look like this, they're in your toolkit with your spare tire. Dig it out, put it in the threaded hole in the front bumper of the car. That makes it so much easier for us to recover the car in 8 feet. The last thing about mechanical problems is if you're having a problem, if you think there's something wrong with your car, especially if you see smoke in your mirrors, please just stop. Find a straightaway, get off the driving line, stop the car. We will come out with a record and figure out the best way to get the car back to the paddock. If your intuition is right and there's something wrong with your car and you continue to drive it just to get it back here to the paddock, all you're doing is doing more damage to your car. If you're leaking, you're going to get fluid on more of the track than you already have, which might ruin everybody else's day. So if you're having a problem, please just stop. Come out and get it figured out. It's not a big deal to stop on the track if you're having a mechanical problem. What is a big deal? If you have to stop on the track, and in this instance, when we say on the track, it has nothing to do with dirt versus pavement or anything like that. From the time you pass the wristband chip from here until you get back to the hot pit lane here, you are considered on the track. If you have to stop the car anywhere out here for any reason at all, please stay in the car at all times. Helmet on, seatbelts tight, that is the safest place for you on the racetrack. Who can tell me the only excuse to get out of your car on track today?
On fire.
On fire. You get out of the car on track today, if it's not on fire, you better set it on fire before you get That's the third big go. You get out of the car on track today, if it's not on fire, you will be done for the day, and we'll probably ask you not to come back for quite a long time. You stay in the car on the racetrack, no matter what. Well, we was on the tow truck out on the hot track to pick up disabled vehicles. So if you see somebody sitting out there, expect soon you'll see the tow truck going out to get them. You're always free to pass a moving tow truck just like anybody else. Just be polite, don't buzz or anything like that. Once the tow truck gets to the disabled vehicle and there's people out of it working what we call boots on the ground, if there wasn't already a flashing yellow ahead of that, there will be when the tow truck arrives. Again, the tow truck, half throttle. The flashing yellow means half throttle, especially when there's a stop tow truck on the side of the track. We're doing what we call hot tows, picking up cars on a hot track as a courtesy to you guys to keep the track hot as much as possible. But we've also gone to a policy where the very first time my tow truck driver calls me and says if somebody went by him full throttle, he was stopped on the side of the track, that's the end of the hot tows for the day. From then on, if anything happens, we'll turn the police lights on, bring everybody in, and then we'll go tow the vehicle. You guys might spend a lot of time with that. So if you want the track to stay hot while we recover vehicles, just make sure you're being polite to the tow truck driver, half throttle past him when you stop on the track, and half throttle until you pass the light that's green. So we're here to have fun and go fast. Occasionally we might spin or go off track. So a spin, we define a spin as if you spin the car to the point that it stops, either on the asphalt or in the dirt, if the car stops, that's a spin. A four off, if you blow a turn and all four tires leave the asphalt and go off in the dirt, that's a four off. So either of those things happens, or a combination of those things happens. First thing, do whatever you gotta do to get the car back on track as quickly and safely as you can. And then the very next time you come by the track exit, we expect you to automatically report to the meatball flag sign. So signal, remember to stay left to the white line, exit the track, and come up and stop at the meatball flag sign. Every time you spin, every time you go four off, come here automatically. We just run a quick chat, we want to make sure you're okay, send it right back out. It's not a big deal. If you forget, we won't remind you. But then when you come in, you have two things to explain, which is why your spider went off and why you forgot the rules. So come in and see us automatically every time you spin or go off. If you spin off the track and you end up facing the wrong direction, where you need to do a 180 turn to get going again, the safest way to do a 180 if you need to is to always turn away from the track, away from the asphalt. So what does that mean? Well, say you're headed into this turn here, you manage to spin out, now you're facing the wrong way. Please do not turn towards the track to do your 180. Always turn away from the track, get the car turned around, point in the right direction, and then you can speed up and merge on further down. Last thing about spinning is you should have this mantra going in your head. It says, if you spin, both feet in. And the both feet refers to the three-pedal cars with the clutch, which I know are going for a dinosaur, but it still applies. If you lose lose control of the car, you're out there spinning around at the mercy of the laws of physics, if you have a clutch, put the clutch in so the motor does not stall or get spun backwards. And clutch or no, put your right foot as hard as you can on the brake pedal and keep it there until the car comes to a complete stop. The idea behind this is, if you lose control of the car, eventually the car will regain traction again. We want your foot on the brake when that happens, so that when the car regains traction, it simply stops, rather than starting to roll in whatever random direction it happens. And this video here kind of shows why we say this. The black Porsche here in front, he's going to lose it going into turn 5. He actually spins off the inside of the track right here, regains traction, but because he doesn't go both feet in, he's now rolled all the way across the track, and the white Mustang had to go 4 off to avoid it. If this guy would have gone both feet in, his car would have stopped off the inside of the track right here, and neither one of those other cars would have to be able to. Lose control, clutch it if you got one, right foot as hard as you can on the brakes till the car stops, then figure out what you got to do. So what are our big 3? Do not cross the white line exiting the track. If you're not going to make it, please just do another lap. Don't miss all the checkered lights. Be heads up, look around, look at the corner bumpers, and don't get out of the car unless it's on fire. So we are doing our sessions today. Everybody, if you signed up for slow, you're up at the top of the hour. So 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. If you're signed up for fast, you're up at the bottom of the hour. 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30. The checkered lights come on 26 minutes into the session. The next session starts on the hour, on the half hour. Roll over to grid a little early, get all your stuff checked out, be ready to roll out, ready to turn the lights off on the hour. Questions about any of that?
What are you checking for in the grid?
They're checking for the wristband, they're checking to make sure your helmet is fastened, they're checking to make sure that your seatbelt is legal and applied. So you got the answer. Anything else?
Cameras, do they have these on the inside?
It's at your risk. You put it on the outside of the car. We will not go out and find it for you. Have fun, guys.